Welcome to today's Research Business Daily Report, where we really want to present to you an important insight that came out of the IIEX in Amsterdam early in March. It's about the ever-present reluctance of client market researchers to take risks in their project work. RBDR is sponsored this week by Women in Research, encouraging the establishment of empowered and nurtured relationships among women in the market research industry. We're proud to be sponsored by the only certified nonprofit solely dedicated to women's advancement in the marketing measurement industry. At the end of today's report, we'll give you a handful of reasons you should check out their services. Again, look for that at the end of today's RBDR. Predicki Prediction Services chief futurist Hubertus Hofkirchner has spent most of his career working on polling predictions, but a few years ago, he decided to take a leap and to enter the client market research industry. And early in March at IIEX in Amsterdam, he heard a small group of researchers admit their deep-seated reluctance to take risk in their project work. Well, this was kind of new to Hubertus, who is relatively new to the industry. But we wanted to present exactly what he heard, and then we'll come back and give you some of his solutions.
So there was a podium discussion actually with very senior researchers from big names. There was Nestle, Amazon, Mondelez, BBC. And suddenly one of the respondents brought up the point that all these innovations at IIEX come at with a certain risk for the researcher introducing it in the organization. And there was a feeling that person expressed that the reward which the researcher would get when taking a risk would not, so to say, warrant the risk when it fails. And so the question really which came to mind was, okay, guys, but what is your result? And so that was the biggest moment of surprise for me, because there was this big quiet when I asked the question. Nobody seemed to know what actually their reward was. And only after a prolonged period of silence, finally somebody said, well, the reward is the big relief that the project is over. That was it. I thought, okay, what type of reward is that?
And according to the blog that you wrote, the representative from Nestle who made the comment said that the risk that in taking and succeeding is not worth the chances that you might actually fail, because the damage that you can do to yourself when a project fails is so bad that it just outweighs any particular success you might have. Explain it. How is that? Why would that be the case in that person's mind?
Well, that was what I tried to gauge with the question, because certainly there's risk. If you propose a new proposal, which your marketing board member does not yet know, and he might still be stuck in, I don't know, in the 1980s or 20s with his methods, and it succeeds, and there's no reward apart from the project being over, there's clearly nothing to outweigh the risk which you're taking by trying something new. And everybody who's ever tried something new knows there's always some risk involved in doing things in a new way. So there's a disbalance.
And the damage that can be done is more personal than professional. Is that the case?
I think that was on respondents' minds. I think they thought about it in an organizational behavior type of mind in terms of the consequences to their own position when the next promotions come up.
Okay. Hubertus offered a solution. He calls it organizing a virtual in-house prediction market before a research project takes place. He suggests that internal client decision makers and knowledgeable staff place virtual bets on the future prospects of the brands or situations that they are looking at. And they should look at it in terms of future prospects and expectations. And at the same time, the client research department there should do the research project that needs to be done and use organizationally accepted traditional methodology or methodologies, but at the same time, to state their case and belief in using more modern research methods, of which there are many. Hofkirchner says the forthcoming project insights that come out of that project will be eagerly awaited. Client management will have a greater stake in the research outcomes, and that there is a possibility that the client market research recommendations will be taken more seriously than ever, especially if results are not what are expected. Hofkirchner says that real-world outcomes are the irrefutable proof of whose bets are right or wrong, and he added that your research will not be long since forgotten. We are linking to the blog that he wrote about this so you can capture the full flavor of what he heard and what he's proposing could be a nice response to not taking risk among client market researchers. Before we close things down today, I wanted to point out a couple of just announced innovations from some major research organizations. Toluna launched what it described as the unrivaled real-time research capability. It fuses its Quick Surveys DIY survey and analytics platform with Toluna's survey community. And according to Toluna, one click of a button can set in motion a process that will generate 1,000 nationally representative survey responses in any of 21 countries, and you can get it all within a few hours. Meanwhile, Research Now debuted Research Now Marketplace. It is an automated research service that relies on a family of templated studies that address common research topics like concept testing, brand health, attitude and usage, customer satisfaction, and more. And additional study types are going to be added as this offering brings clients the ability to do high-quality research in what Research Now says is a fast, cost-effective manner that relies on high-tech research capabilities. That is your Research Business Daily Report. We are sponsored by Women in Research, encouraging and helping to establish empowered and nurtured relationships among women in the market research profession. This happens to be Women's History Month, which will end today, March 31st, but we are proud to be sponsored by the only certified nonprofit solely dedicated to women's advancement in the marketing measurement industry. Women in Research facilitates education, entrepreneurship, and other career development goals through informal networking events that are held around the world. And included in these are educational webinars, a speakers database, an office hours online Q&A series, and an award-winning one-to-one mentoring program. You can find out much more about Women in Research programs and join and actually be part of one of its free upcoming networking and educational events. There is a link. You see it on the right-hand side of the screen. It is www.womeninresearch.org. We hope you have a great research day and that your weekend is particularly good for you. And we'll see you right back here on Monday.